Welcome to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
I'm Rebecca Plum, your big sister.
And I'm Shaun Surha, your GBF.
We're not that hot or that young.
But we believe it's a state of mind that helps us build adaptable and profitable businesses.
We rely on the support of our design besties to get through each day.
So let's explore the emotional, practical, and humorous sides of being interior designers.
Welcome to the club. Hey, Shaun.
What's up, Rebecca?
Well, we are here in our cozies with our friend Brooke Stoll. Hey,
Hi,
Brooke.
Hi, this is my dream podcast. Like, I'm wearing a robe. What could be better?
I think you thought I was kidding when you were like, you said we should be in our robes. And I was like, okay, sold, done. Like, I texted Rebecca.
Yeah, I feel like we initially bonded over our love for spas. So, why not?
So here we go.
So here we are.
I'm in my Turkish robe.
All of us sitting at our office spaces or our desks wearing a robe. And I kind of feel like it's a new look to turn.
Kind of chic,
like,
yeah.
I mean, if I could be in a bathrobe on every call, I think my productivity would go through.
Well, I used to be until this started being on video. So yeah, let's just embrace it.
Yeah.
Just make it real.
We picked robes because when you joined you joined virtually our retreat that Rebecca and I were on with you and with Renee Bush in January of this year. And we all had like our matching sweatsuits that we had in advance. And you were like, I'm the only one not in one now. And so you got a little bit.
I was so sad. I was so bummed that I couldn't join you guys in person. But I was so bummed. I was like, I should have ordered a matching sweatsuit. I was wearing like a sweater, like business casual, like so lame.
Well, you're a professional.
And it was also, it was like much for us, it was like our morning. And for you, you're in North Carolina. So it was already later in your day. So it might have been kind of weird. For us, that was like our morning warm up,
Well, we did not change that.
That's fair.
Yeah, we didn't actually. Yeah, we wore those pretty much the whole day, all the way to karaoke in the evening when we did that. So
amazing. I mean, I just think I personally am not one of those people that's like more productive when I like get up and put on makeup and like put on jeans and all that stuff. I'm the most productive when I'm just comfortable. So
I like that. Why don't you tell the hotties a little bit about you and your business?
Who is Brooke
Yeah.
Stoll?
Who are you?
Yeah. So my name is Brooke. I live in North Carolina in Raleigh, and I'm an operations and profitability strategist dedicated to helping interior designers get out of the weeds of their business and really build wildly successful design firms. So my 3 zones of genius, for lack of better words, are really people, processes, and profitability. So I love helping designers gain confidence in those 3 areas, but then also just really streamline those 3 areas of their business, because I had never met a designer who got into this industry and who started their firm because they love running teams and they love scaling systems and they love writing process documents and they love the financial side of it, but it's such an important part of the business. And so I really found my zone of genius through working at a firm and growing up in the industry and loving the business side of this creative industry.
And it's very rare to find that like counterbalance to the creative side and to feel confident in it at the same time.
Yeah. I know there's so many times I wish Brooke was just on my shoulder right now telling me how to do this. I love the concept of processes, and I love the Virgo in me just wants things to like follow that order, and the undiagnosed ADHD side of me can never quite capture it, and I also want to reinvent it every single time. So it's
I think that's the beauty of owning your own business, right? Is that the way you do things doesn't have to be in a way that's like quote unquote process oriented.
It's danger though. It's also the danger. Like you can just be treading water for years if you redo everything every time.
Yeah.
Like takes much longer. You're overthinking everything. Your customers are confused.
Yeah.
You're confused.
Yeah.
So
But you have processes. You have Dipsado.
I do. And I have made some big improvements since that retreat, for sure. And I'm using Basecamp now.
Yes,
so
my favorite project management system.
I know you told me about it at High Point in October, and I had used Basecamp in my previous life, like 20 years ago. And I was like, I I don't see it. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just had PTSD from that entire part of my life. But
Yeah. It wasn't the systems, it was the people.
but I like also have like had Asana not work for me. It's too dense. I've talked about that before. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna try it. And it is so simple. Like, I love how just shallow it is, if that makes sense. Like, you can't like do nested task switch. Sometimes it's frustrating, but also kind of just keeps it like quick.
Yeah. If you ever have any questions about it, shoot me a message. I'm happy to help, or a Loom or anything. But I love Basecamp. I think Asana is really popular in our industry. I think there's a lot of courses that promote it, and there's a lot of templates that people sell for it. But to me, Asana works really well with people, in my experience, who have a deep corporate background that they really thrived in. So their brain works more in like that spreadsheet task orientation. And to me, Basecamp is more folder organization and less like task spreadsheet organization. I wouldn't say it's a pretty platform, but I do think it's easier to find information. And I also love that the communication aspect of it is housed in the platform versus having to have Slack with Asana.
Right.
So I love it.
Basecamp's pretty though. I don't think it's not pretty. It's not like, I mean, sorry, but Studio Designer isn't pretty. Like the font's not good.
No.
So
but like all the
Basecamp's
stuff
still
is
like
in it.
got a good UI and it's juicy. And it's very easy to like. I was like instantly using it within 24 hours. Where Asana, I feel like you really have to think about the entire structure. Like you can't. It's not as modular, I guess, as Basecamp is very modular.
Yeah, I think Asana can be more sophisticated too. Like you can set up more automations and dependencies, which is great. But most of my clients want simple and sustainable.
Are you
they
gonna
don't
actually
want
do that and maintain it. Or if you have somebody that's on your team that can maintain it, like we have a great VA who like uses Asana for our podcast, and she like knows where everything is, and she's like, I'm like, I can't find that thing. I saw you send it. I saw something
Like,
in my periphery came through, and she'll like know exactly and send it. But if I have to like click too many times, I already forgot what I was about to write down. So
yeah,
it's not good.
100%. I think people either veer towards one or the other, and then I'll have like the random ClickUp or Trello lover or something like that. But Basecamp is still my favorite. And I actually use Notion in my business, but I'm always thinking like, should I switch to Basecamp? Because I love it so much.
What I do wish, and they used to have this, is you used to be able to forward an email into it as a task. Like, are they bringing that back?
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Yes, that is such a good question. Whenever I first started using it, do you guys know Jacqueline Isaac with Donnie Douglas Designs? She's out of New Jersey.
No.
Oh, I know that. I think I follow her on Instagram.
Okay. She's fantastic. She was one of the first designers I ever did work for, and I worked for her for years, and I learned Basecamp with her, and like we scaled it for the firm, and we used to use that tool feature a lot. And yeah, I think they've gotten rid of it.
Okay, complain. But anyway, we're in the weeds. But
we're like, hey, by the way, Basecamp, if you are listening,
there's Reddits about it. I've like gone into deep dives.
Stop! I didn't know that.
Yeah,
amazing.
Okay, so that's like some of the stuff is you get granular though, and you'll set that up for your clients, right? So like, if they're not a Virgo that thinks it's fun,
if they're not gonna have fun doing this on a Saturday night, then they should,
exactly.
Yeah. So our process for our retainer clients is usually we go through a very in-depth process audit, and we really leave no stone unturned. So, I mean, even if you think about just like your client discovery process, every single step, every single touch point that a client goes through from the second they reach out, like, are you doing Zoom calls, discovery calls? Are you doing phone discovery calls? How is that discovery call booked? Is it an automation that they get? Do they get an investment guide? What is the verbiage in that investment guide? Do we have minimums in that, right? So our team is really going through all of that, setting those systems up, whether it's a Dipsado or an Asana or a Basecamp or a combination. But then also, we have a great graphic designer on our team, Riley, and she's redoing those investment guides and any sort of client-facing branded deliverable. We do not do branding by any means, but we work with amazing partners like Renee from Tandem and Anastasia from IDCO and other people in this industry, and they do the branding and then give it to us. But we really go through every single part of the process and we talk about every single step and making sure that it aligns with your ideal client, but then also making sure that it aligns with the type of studio you want to grow. Like, just between the two of you, what do you think are some of the biggest differences like between your onboarding processes?
Like me and Shaun?
Ooh. I mean, until recently, Rebecca, you had really turned off your inquiry, like the ability to book immediately with you. Like that was before I was even doing that. You're already working on that last year.
Of being able to book a call
Like
with me?
turning, yeah, like basically like they have to put in an inquiry form and then you would determine whether you're going to do a discovery call.
And whether
But you
they
were
get
doing
an
that last
investment guide.
year and I just started making changes like that.
Yes.
Shaun and I have a lot of similarities in like the amount of tech and automation we like to use, which is not
like
the norm from probably most of our other close design friends.
I like to experiment with technology. So that's a good like similarity for us, is that we're not afraid to use a technology tool, or we're not afraid to like get rid of something if it's not working. The problem is then you get excited by constantly looking at new stuff.
But I also started something recently where I'm not charging for every consultation if it seems like a project I'm going to want to take and that we already have a vibe. So I took down like one piece of friction for like basically they're my ideal client and I can already feel like a spark.
Yeah.
And so I stopped charging for those, and that makes me feel a lot better. And that to me, it makes me feel like I'm providing a service, or kind of not providing a service. It also makes me feel like I don't have to give them any ideas yet, because I want to make sure they're my best ideas before I start flinging stuff around to somebody that I may actually work with. But I charge for one-off consultations for sure. But those, I just want to give them everything I can think of, but I'm not going to be in their house again, probably.
Well, I love that, because I don't know who said this. I was at a conference once and they were like, you want to date your potential clients before you marry them, because once you sign a contract, you really are married to them. And so I think that the other side
really
of this
easy.
Can't give it all away on the first date.
I need a big engagement ring first.
But I'm not being difficult. Like you don't have to pay me first.
No, but I mean, just the psychology of like the payment behind it, and how much is that payment, and where do you live? It's really dependent on where you live, to like the culture of like, is everyone in your area charging for these consults? Is no one in your area charging for these consults? Also, like, is that fee applied to, the design fee? Is, if you decide not to work with them afterwards, are you going to refund that? There's so many
and it just
like
feels
layers.
Like kind of chicken shit to me. Like for my ideal client, $500 is like, you're gonna make me get my credit card out and type it in. Like that is the opposite, where it sort of feels like more of a pittance, like annoying to what they're gonna
100%.
be paying me ultimately. So I do think, I know other people that do like apply it to the first proposal, but like $500 on a $50,000. It's just like, whatever.
The drop in the bucket.
I know.
Yeah.
So I've been playing with that, and actually I've gotten my last 3 best clients and I haven't charged them for that.
Ooh.
And then who are the people then that are still booking a consult? Are those the people might be really like piddling around? Kinda?
Instagram people that just like my work, and just regular people that are doing a bathroom or want to rearrange their living room, and they're not in the market to buy furniture or do something big. And now I just limit how many of those I do a month and on what days I do them.
Do people ever book them for business advice? I could see people wanting to book them for business advice.
I've had some designers reach out and ask, and I've done that way too. But I don't market it that way. I'm trying to do less of that, so less appointments in general, but I totally will. Yeah.
But like, even the service structure behind that, I think service structure is so huge. A lot of time when I start working with designers, we really like reduce their amount of services. And so it's like, you don't need to be the square plug for every round hole, right? Like you don't need to be for everyone, and everyone is not for you. And so, my ideal client, which I think both of you have done a lot of work on this, knows who their ideal client is. They've done that brand strategy work before they come to me, and they have that clarity. so that we can then build the systems, the processes, the
Talks to
pricing
them.
structure that talks to them and that fills both cups, both the clients and the business owners.
Mhm.
Because without that structure and that clarity, it's a little bit more of like throwing pasta against the wall.
Do you think they're able to get the full value out of what you do if they don't have some clarity around that?
No, I don't. I think I work with designers in two different ways. So we do 90-minute strategy sessions. Those are great no matter what stage you're at because we can focus on one pain point or just a few pain points, or we can talk through pricing. Or I had somebody book one the other day that wanted to learn more about sourcing trade, like just different areas of the business. But a true retainer client where we work together over 4 to 6 months, we do their full processes. We redo all their branded client deliverables. We're really diving in with their team. We're getting really in depth with their numbers and their P&L and all that stuff. I really, really think you have to have that foundation of knowing who you are, what kind of firm you want to grow, and what your ideal client is before you come to me.
Or they'll have to like redo work or something if they figure it out later, which is wasteful.
Exactly.
It's really hard to create brand materials without knowing who you're talking to.
Or processes, or like you wipe out 3 services and now you just built all that stuff and wasted all that time building it.
It's the foundational side that you're saying. It's like,
I meant services.
Yeah, like come to us after you have these foundations here and we can build on top of it. But we're not going to start putting utility services under the foundation. Like you've got to come with something.
So it's talk to Renee, then talk to Brooke.
Talk to IDCO. Like get your branding
and then the branding
together.
is like in the middle there.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, I tell all my potential clients or anyone who's considering working with us, like it is an investment, both of finances, but also of time, right? So it's definitely a partnership. I always say like our most successful clients have at least 2 hours a week to commit to our work together because I need them to be testing out these processes, to be implementing the systems, to see what's working and what's not. So I always tell them to like, if you're thinking about doing a website or a rebrand or you're in a busy season, like might not be the best time. Go through all of that first and then come to us and then we can get you on the schedule.
Okay, I do have something maybe a little bit controversial.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Related. Not as a hot take, but like you see a lot of this and you see patterns, and Rebecca and I start to pick up on patterns a little bit differently because we're not always in contact with as many designers out of our circle, but we start to get like these bubblings sometimes. And one of the things that I feel like is happening is there's sort of this like awakening moment, or maybe it's just reaching critical mass of designers who were solo or started very small, but now they're starting to get into like a more like, oh shit, this is like a serious, I've got 3 to 5 people era, or I've really got some big volume projects like 6-figure design fee. And I see a huge, huge gap in these designers of like the ability to manage versus the ability to lead their firms. And it's like starting to get into big conversations that keep happening because I think a lot of people started in design around that same 2017, 2020, 2021 era. And now they're getting to the stage where the same skills that they had, that gumption, the audacity that got them started, audacity and gumption doesn't get you through being a great leader or a manager. And so like, I just want to, I'm dropping that thought right there. And yeah, like, let me see like what you guys either think about that or if you don't even want to touch the topic, but.
I love it. I mean, what got you here isn't going to get you there. And I love Renee says like different level, different devil. Like every single level has different challenges in business. But Shaun, I think that's so I was actually prepping some content for a retreat that I was speaking at in May. And the number one thread, which I think is kind of dovetailed into what you're talking about, that I see among the most successful firms financially, fulfillment-wise, team-wise, product-wise, is confidence. Their leaders have so much confidence both in themselves and what they're selling, but also in their team and like who they are for and who they are not for. And to me, like you maybe can manage a studio, but to truly lead a studio, you have to have confidence. And to me, like the process of defining your brand strategy, digging through your processes, really creating that autonomy for your team, understanding your numbers and what financial targets you need to hit, all of that makes up a confident leader. And I don't think that you can lead any business successfully, whether it's a business of 1 or 50, if you don't have that confidence.
And I think it's confident. I mean, I 100% agree. It's something I've always known that like my biggest issues early on was around confidence in honestly everything. Like, how do I sell furniture? How do I get a client with means to trust me? Like, all of it is there's so many different parts of it. And I didn't, like, some people I think inherently have audacity and they can just hang up their shingle and they're
Where they,
like,
like,
give me
pull the-
$100,000.
They just turn on this like faucet inside of them and they're like, and it's here.
Well, they already had
Like,
it.
yeah.
So they're just like, they don't need I mean, they are faking it, but it's not quite the act because they're used to doing it. Like, that's not my personality. And I'm so jealous of people that have that naturally. But over time and what you're saying with like knowing your numbers, being educated on the business side of it so you know why all these things are important and you can communicate it to clients, staff, team, whatever. But then all the little pieces of it. So like people, I think there's so much around people or designers who want to sell trade. I think so much of that is confidence. But to be confident, you have to do it and you have to learn about it. So I want to sell trade, but I don't want to go to High Point. It's too far. Like, no, girl, like you gotta do it. Like the only reason I'm confident in selling furniture was because I had a good designer friend who took me under her wing and took me to Vegas market, like within my first couple months of even kind of trying it. So, and then I'm like, oh, like my eyes, were open immediately and it's the only way.
I mean, you also just invested a huge amount of time with Norwalk Furniture,
Yeah.
right? Like learning, and I bet you could sell that furniture in your sleep now.
Like I already had a decent amount of confidence from being with them for a few years, but now I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Like I can just sell it up and down. Like it's almost like, wait, what? Why wouldn't you buy this client? Like we're gonna make a adjustment somewhere else so you can have a sofa that you can love for 20 years. And maybe we'll do something less somewhere, I don't know, in the living room that you're not sitting in very much, but your family room, like you're going to flop on that sofa and be able to rot if you want. Like,
yeah. And you can talk about it as the expert because you are the expert because you've invested your time and your resources to learn about it. And
right.
No one's going to know everything. None of us know everything. Even if you went to design school, they don't teach you about trade or how to run, how to run a business in design school. They don't teach you how to read a P&L. And so it's like investing in the areas in your business where you don't have confidence, whether that's your numbers, your processes, your selling. I mean, there's people who literally teach selling for a living.
Yep.
I mean, also, I love, not to plug your product, but I recommend to everyone who is anxious about trade, your room budget calculator, because I'm like, this shows you how much trade costs. Because to me, we should be having all those hard money conversations up front with the client.
Yeah.
And I want your client, especially in furnishings projects, to have there be no surprises about what that investment level should be. So I actually recommend people put a product investment range in their design fee proposals before a client even signs on.
Yeah.
And so if they're like, well, I don't know how much a living room costs, great, buy this tool. I think it's $99. It's like the best $99 they're ever going to spend.
Thank you.
Within 3 seconds, you can see kind of where different like levels are. But then also, I mean, there's no way to really know like what 8-way hand tied is, which is a type of, custom upholstery.
Tying springs.
Yeah. Unless you go to High Point and you really invest the time, or Las Vegas or wherever. I mean, if you live in LA, you could go to community manufacturing down the street, right? But really going to like learn the things that you don't know.
And most clients I've found, they also, if they're going to invest, they want you to tell them a story. Like you're just kind of like romanticizing the whole experience of working with a designer. And some of it is like, I mean, I told a couple clients, I talked to them while I was in Ohio and told them like, oh, I get to do this factory tour and I'm going to meet the people that do the glue and the carving of the legs, like all these things. And that is so cool. And I'm not sure they're going to tell their friends at a cocktail party, but it's still like, oh, I'm buying something with some sort of meaning, some sort of soul. Somebody
Like
told me a story about it.
and a person was involved, like
and it's
a
already
human being, and their touch and their energies and their stuff had to go into it.
yes. And just telling the story, they may not remember any of the details you told them, but they just know, oh, that's legit. Okay, sign. Like they just know it's legit, and you're not just going down the street like any other Joe Schmo and buying. All right, like I'll tell them other brands that I think don't match up and are the same cost probably, and
right, or way more,
scrappy.
Unfortunately. Like a lot of times it's just the marketing of it all that you paid
But
for.
I just think like storytelling and romanticizing your work is part of it's not a game, but it's part of the lore.
There's a dance. Yeah, there's a story, a dance, that, like a history that you
it's
want
the
to
service. Like if they wanted a transaction, they would just go online and add to cart.
Right.
Exactly. And it's so, I think sometimes we forget, like, to me, there is nothing more personal and intimate than being in someone's home and helping craft their home, right? And so for you to understand the construction and like every single selection and the why of why it's going in their room and the why of why they should invest, 20% of the budget for the room in this custom upholstery or whatever it may be, that confidence, that knowledge, you're going to be more profitable. You're going to sell more products.
I already
You're going to have a better markup.
Yep. It's
and that's
so true.
just like that where like that goes towards like the no, like there's a confidence that comes with knowing what you don't know about your industry and acknowledging your gaps, and instead of putting the blinder that's like what I'm doing is fine, there's a lot of like courage needed to be a leader and say, I don't know this, and I'm okay going in and admitting I don't know something and I'm curious or I don't understand it, or raising your hand when you're in a room of people where everyone else is just like, ooh, nodding. You should be the person who's like, hold on, there's 2 dots that don't connect over here for me. Can you help fill those in? And like, it is weird in a lot of our settings. You get into rooms, you get into spaces, everyone's talking and you hear people's voices and designers who maybe get a little louder. And then you're just like, but wait, something doesn't add up. Or I'm still not connecting how that got more profitable for you, because there's a lot of platitudes. And I think it takes a lot of courage to be a leader for yourself, your own knowledge, your own like learning, but also for your team or for your business to say, like, it was really awkward for me to raise my hand and ask this vendor this question, but literally my clients need to know this, even if everyone in here already knew the answer. There's a lot of courage that's needed to maybe look like you don't know an answer. And that's awkward for most people. They just feel weird to be at a place where they don't have the answer, they don't know something. And it's like, you kind of have
How are you going to learn? I don't know. I've just always
how do you make it?
Just be curious and be kind and open. Anyone most likely is going to try to help you. Like that's just been always my experience. Because pretending that you know something that you don't, that's how you get in trouble.
But that's one of my favorite parts about my job is, and specifically in the financial area, I'm not an accountant. I didn't go to accounting school. I have my degrees in business management and marketing, and we took some accounting classes.
Yeah.
But I'm not an accountant. I know how to read a P&L like the back of my hand, though, and I can educate my clients about different benchmarks and all of that stuff. They don't need to know the ins and the outs and the in-depths. They just need to know enough to be dangerous. You have to know enough to be dangerous. But I think my favorite thing, Shaun, to your point, is something that I do with every single one of my retainer clients is we do a meeting with me, them, and their accounting partner. And so, 100% of the time, I will say, does that make sense to my client? Because let's just say cash versus accrual. Rebecca, I know we had a conversation during the retreat about cash versus accrual and how you manage your business finances. I'll be like, does that make sense to my client? And 9 times out of 10 are like, no, I don't really understand. But they wouldn't have had the confidence to ask that question because they're like, oh, my accountant's got it. But what if your accountant doesn't have it? What if it's not a good accountant, right?
Right.
And so I'm such a big believer, not to get in a whole like side tangent about this, about using an industry specific accountant, because our industry is so complex and just financially different from other industries.
Yeah.
But I'm also really, really passionate on my clients knowing, are they running their business on a cash versus accrual basis? What does the difference mean? What is their gross profit margin? The other day I was looking at a P&L and we had like a $10,000 line item coming out of gross profit that should have been coming out of net profit. And for me, that was like a simple, like black and white thing. Why didn't their accountant catch that? Right? It's because they weren't industry specific, but it's not my client. There was no way for the client to know that. And so to be able to bridge that gap and give them the confidence to understand, but also just to ask the question. Like, if you don't understand something about your numbers, it's okay not to know. It's not okay not to ask. And I think that ripples across all areas of your business.
I don't even know that they would even know that it's wrong. Like, why would they?
No.
To them, like, okay, so maybe the better way to look at this is, what's the benefit to that designer of moving that line item the way you're recommending? Because that's probably what's getting their attention. So if I were that designer, I'm like, okay, so why does it need to be moved? What's the answer?
Great question. Yeah. So when we look at your business finances, you have all of your revenue, all of your income, right? So that's all the money that's coming in your business from all the different areas. And then we take out, basically we look at your gross profit. So your gross profit, to me, there's the gross profit and net profit. Gross, I always think of as like this grossly large number. And then your net profit is once we like take the net and take all of your expenses out. So to me, your gross profit,
throw a net over all your expenses, pull them out of your gross, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
So your gross profit to me is like once we take away the money that was never yours. Okay. So it's usually cost of goods sold. That's like the number one thing, right? So if you buy a sofa from, Norwalk for $10,000 and the client pays you $20,000, that $10,000 you're paying to Norwalk, you were just a pass-through entity for it, right? So other cost of goods sold, it depends on, other things that come out of your gross profit. It depends on the firm. Sometimes some subcontractors will come out of that, like direct subcontractor expenses. That's another one that sometimes we need to look at. Like, is a direct subcontractor, should they be considered under payroll, which would be net profit, or should they be considered under gross profit? But the biggest thing is like the money that was never yours.
Sales tax.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. Sales tax, cost of goods sold, stuff like that. And benchmark, I know we talked about the retreat. And I think, Rebecca, on a podcast I was just listening to, you were like, I feel like I'm doing pretty good after the retreat. Like, I got some benchmarks, and like I was like, heck yeah.
I was surprised. Which is sad, but I was surprised.
But that's also like the total benefit of comparing stuff like that out loud and being vulnerable, of like pulling up your number and then just going, oh, hell yeah. Like,
but I like feel okay. I feel okay. Like, I don't feel stressed about paying bills or paying myself. So that felt okay, but just actually know that I wasn't just imagining things.
You were riding on vibes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I wasn't.
I mean,
there was actual information too.
To have a benchmark, right? Nobody talks about this. Renee is one of the only other people I know that talks about this, but really healthy gross profit margin, which is, like I said, all of your income minus your cost of goods sold or sales tax, any other money that you're basically just a pass-through entity for. Think about it like that. Is your gross profit margin, right? Your gross profit margin, to be in a really, really healthy firm, we like to see you at 50 to 60%. Now, you could be at 45%, you're still running a great firm. But let's say you're at 30%. Okay, what does that tell me? That tells me we're either undercharging, we're not charging enough for a design piece, or we're not making enough money on product, usually. In a traditional design business, that they have retail or affiliate links or other sources of revenue, that would be part of the conversation. But then that's your gross profit margin. Your net profit margin is once we take out every single other expense in your business. So meals, subscriptions, business development, payroll, rent, every single dollar that goes out in your business. That's going to give us your net profit margin. Your net profit margin is a lot different benchmark. Right? So you might have a 3% net profit margin, which may seem really low, but maybe it's because you were in a year of investing a lot back into your business. You rebranded, you built a new website, you went to design camp, like you are in an investment area and you are just trying to invest a lot back in business. Maybe you have an 18% net profit margin, which would be awesome, or a 30% net profit margin. It could be that means that 30% of the money that came into your business, you retain. You have to spend if you want to, right? So you could take that out as an owner's draw if you're running an S corp, right? So understanding that, and also understanding, I mean, I could talk about this for days and days, so feel free to cut me off at any point, but also understanding like what should be what is your monthly operating expense? Like, how much money do you need to bill in design fees every month to keep the lights on?
Yeah.
But you're not just keeping the lights on. You also keeping the lights on. You're paying your staff. You are, paying your business insurance. You are paying your subscription fees, all of that stuff,
Money to
right?
go to High Point every year.
What you're trying to say, Brooke, right now is please don't build this off of I'm running a skeleton ship, literally only keeping the lights on. Like we can't pay all the bills. What are the minimum ones? You're saying for your shop to run healthy and pay for the stuff and make sure there's some snacks by the kitchenette or whatever you've got to have. That's like, hey, we're being chill. Are we buying tickets to go see Beyonce when the new concert launches as a team building event? Maybe not, but.
Maybe.
But maybe if our net profit margin is 18, 30%, 35%, that extra cash is for the spa day. It's for that. But otherwise, you're saying build your minimum, like everything I need is covered. Our regular payroll, maybe not bonuses, but like our regular payroll, all that stuff we're fine.
Well, you should know both
That's
numbers though, right? Like what is your the
what could
red
we trim?
light is starting to flash like we're danger.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to keep the lights on.
Or like if we're going to have a shortfall on our number, wait, we have these proposals we need. Can we get these proposals out faster, team? Like,
yeah, it's time to hit.
It's knowing that as the leader tells you how to manage the team. Like, I can't do both if I don't know something. And I think a lot of designers run on vibes. That's probably the very truth of it all.
And like, that's gorgeous in a way. But if you really want to scale a profitable firm, like you have to know your you have to know your monthly operating costs, how much every single month. But then I also like to look at, just to keep it really simple and cut and dry, your service revenue should cover your monthly operating costs. So if your monthly operating cost is $10,000 every month, you have to be billing at least $120,000 a year in design fees, right? And then your profit from product, because that's going to go in seasons, right? If you are in a busy renovation season, your product on profit is going to be less than if you were in a big furnishing seasons, right? That is what pays for the Beyonce tickets for everybody and the bonuses and the trip to High Point and the matching robes and the new website and all the photography, right? So when we get really strategic about like goals we have to hit, and when we have that financial knowledge, it becomes really black and white, and it doesn't have to be this like big scary thing. I mean, in a meeting with an accountant, in a meeting with me, that's 2 hours. I want my clients to be able to walk away and be like, I know how much money I need to operate my business. I know either I'm hitting my goals or what levers I need to pull, where I need to spend less from. I mean, just like little things too. Like I'll look at P&Ls and be like, why do we pay $10,000 in interest last year? Is that on a credit card? Why haven't we paid that off? Like, let's reallocate some funds if we can to pay that off. Just little things like that.
Or is there a strategy? Like maybe you already have a strategy and we knew about this when you went into that. Great. If you didn't, what's our strategy to take?
Do we need to keep doing that?
Strategy? Like,
what's our plan? Right? That we have a plan.
Well, I realized that I was using my Amex for a mix of things like travel to High Point or whatever, and bills for the firm plus clients' products. And I was realizing I was starting to confuse myself like every month, like what goes to what, because I have different accounts. Like I keep all my clients' purchasing money in a separate account, and I wasn't paying from the right account sometimes. I'm just like, I know there's enough in this 2 buckets, but am I paying from the right one? And I was carrying credit card costs because I was like, I don't want to deplete, or I don't know. I was just being dumb, basically.
You're like waiting longer until everything sifts with your bookkeeper, kind of? Yeah, you're like, well, they'll
you just
tell
didn't
me,
have the information.
I know I have it, and they'll tell me when I can use it.
Well, like when the bill was due, like what do I pay from each account? And it should be 0 because the money's ultimately there. So anyway, and I just like, what do I do? And then I talked to her. I'm like, oh, I should just have a second card, right? And she's like, yes. Like, and it's the same account. It's just like an employee card, basically. That is just it's called Studio Plum Orders. And that's every single purchase that is for a client that I've earmarked and gotten money from the client goes on there. And then it's like not a question. I make 2 payments every month from the different bank accounts, but it's such a game changer. It's so freaking simple. It's so stupid.
You keep the label on it, and if like you or anyone on your team needs to
It's a
make
different
purchases,
color. One's platinum,
they
one's
know.
white. Like it's
And now they
Gorgeous.
know, like this is the purchasing card for clients,
and
like
she
not
and
for the
my
office. Like,
my studio coordinator who does a lot of the buying, she just only has that card. Like she doesn't need to use the other one.
yeah.
So
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like that was a simple, sustainable solution that you and your accountant built. And it now gives you the confidence every single month to pay off in full, which affects your profitability.
Also, another added bonus of it is my bookkeeper we have a multi-tab spreadsheet that every month she puts questions of charges. And some of it's mixed. Like some of it, like, oh shoot, I accidentally bought something personal on that card. Like, you know, like some of it's my
now
stuff.
you're saving time on bookkeeping.
But I didn't want my team member to necessarily see every transaction that was running through my business. And I didn't want to have access to every tab. Also, it's confusing. She doesn't need to like wade through it all. So now that we have a separate card, she just has her own spreadsheet where she can now communicate directly with the bookkeeper of, oh, this was extra freight. You know, like they can help every month of each transaction when there's always questions. Like whatever's on the PO is not always the right amount that gets charged ultimately. So anyway, so it's like taken me out of a lot of those little communications I was having with my bookkeeper about product.
I know. Good job.
Yeah, I know. It's like so
I'm proud of you.
and like save time, save money. Boom.
And that was your goal at the retreat. You said, whatever I'm in the way of, I need to not be the bottleneck. And that's like, okay, great. Bam. Here's a solution.
And you guys, you know what else, like related to all of it, is now 2 weeks in a row, my bookkeeper has had no comments for me. Like,
winning.
Or one.
Oh my gosh, you owe yourself a prize.
Like,
that's huge.
What do I get?
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Like, what have you had your eyes on recently?
I know. Like, what would make you feel rewarded? I do.
Your robe is really chic. I don't think you need a new one.
Too hot, though.
But I was thinking, you need a summer robe is what I just heard. I heard a summer weight,
she needs
like a
silky
linen.
or like a waffle. Yeah, linen. That would be silky.
Okay.
What am I thinking?
But silky could be beautiful, but
fiber.
Natural fibers would be good. But yeah, I think like what you're talking about there too is also that, I mean, I don't know if you're on minimum monthly retainer or if you're hourly retainer, but if someone's on hourly with their bookkeeper, you just cut all that time the bookkeeper needs to be in there.
Yeah.
So like I hear designer, oh my God, my bookkeeper's so expensive. They're expensive because your shit's messed up. Like they're expensive because it's not organized.
It's more expensive,
and like it takes longer to find everything. And like I don't know. I feel like, yes, obviously the bench of bookkeepers, they're all different. Some have different skill sets. Some don't have what we need. That's totally there. But rarely is it the designer complaining about how long it takes. And it's like all my stuff is very organized and easy to get to. And I'm doing it's usually the opposite. It's usually, well, my stuff is, I just hand them a bunch of stuff and they upload things. And it's like, well, then it makes sense why they have to like Sherlock Holmes their way through your books every month or
They're chasing you. They can't find you because you hate it, because you hate the numbers and you don't want to
talk
do it.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's annoying and all that.
Sometimes though, if you want to have your big girl pants on, like they just cost more. Like,
yes.
I mean, I'm paying a lot more in overhead and monthly fees than I was when I was trying to like do it on the cheap. But I've also, because confidence, I feel like I'm confident with my team and the way that I'm doing things, and it cost more, but also now I'm making more. So ultimately I'm making more and paying more, but it's still more profitable.
You know that you can afford it because you have great margins and you know your numbers. So I always say, I still list from my business code, it can be a stretch, but it should never be a stress. Like I never want people to lay in bed at night and be like, oh my God, I have so much money going on in my business. So like, oh my God, I really want to work with Brooke, but I don't know if I can afford it. If it's a stress, don't do it. It can be a stretch, right? We can take these big, somewhat intimidating investments in our business, but it should never be like where we can't sleep or we can't eat because so much money is going out in our business.
And this year was like a big kind of, okay, you're going to throw money at the problem. Like I've just stopped like thinking about, oh, I should share a studio designer seat with my employee because it's going to save me $70 a month. But no, so I just like stopped. So now I'm like, $300 a month I'm paying a studio designer. I could save $200, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do it right and see how that feels. And now I don't notice it.
And once a month, you're going to be annoyed at having her lock at least once a month if you're sharing it.
Well,
You're going to be annoyed. Someone has to log
out.
in or out or
and
this
the bookkeeper.
or that.
The bookkeeper wanted her own too. And now it's just like, I don't think about it. It's I guess a big bill, but I also don't notice it because that's just not my business. It's like, what's going on with the back of my hair? Like, it's none of my business. Like, my business is in front of me. Like, I got to get more money coming in. And the stuff that has to go out is just the cost of doing business. And I can be more free to do bigger and better things that are in my zone of genius. So, yeah, sometimes it just costs more, babes. Like,
I'm sure there would be other expenses. Honestly, what's funny is you're saying that and you never have once complained, Rebecca, on any episode recently about the cost of all that stuff. This is like the first time you're talking about it. But what we did talk about at the beginning of the year was DoorDash.
Well, I'm not complaining about that either.
My point was like, there will always be somewhere else that you feel like, well, if I had to pick something to reduce, it's not going to be the annoying thing with my assistant needing another login from me to log in or out because we're saving $70.
And
There's going to be somewhere else I would do it and not the annoying thing that I'm so happy I don't deal with anymore.
And some of those things make you feel small. Like there's some of this, like, what do they say? I don't know. There's a word that people use for this, but like, if you constantly are making choices that are like the small choice, like, oh, I'm going to save $50, then you're like making everything smaller. And like, honestly, DoorDash, I paid a shitload of DoorDash last year, but it makes me feel like a boss.
Like to have like my meals brought in.
$25 salad. Like, here we go.
And it's time. Like, what is also the value of your time? Like, going to get that meal may have been a $25 task, but you were able to do a $125, $225 task during that time.
And the blood sugar
even if
drop.
that task, even if that task is like showering or painting your nails, like that puts into your cup. So, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, Shaun, I have to ask you a question. What do you feel like you have gained confidence in your business in the past, 6 months?
Okay. Honestly, the conversation that we built around about ideal client and then working with my branding pillars, it has changed every call. And I say this like full chested. I have had multiple discovery calls so far. We're now, this is like the end of March, we're recording this. I've had multiple discovery calls, but I haven't had one in-home consult or one new contract yet. And I feel 100% confident in the fact that like the people who do not have any of those jank proposals in front of them because they were not right, I'm so happy I'm not doing them right now.
Yeah.
Like that gave me the confidence to know that like, no, this isn't right, or this isn't for me, or, this is just not going to be aligned with what you want to do because they're telling me what they need. And I feel no qualms about that whatsoever. And I do recall times where I would be freaked out if a whole quarter went by and none of them were right because I had that push to try to book someone or get the deal because I get in that spirit where I'm like, I could totally close this. I could totally do this. I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. And like that level of like peace that comes with saying, I've had inquiries, none of them are in contract for a very good reason. That's really
you're really leaving
body.
room for like a big yes.
I'm waiting for the people that I really want and need to work with who will make me happy in 6 months, who I'll be laughing with until we're peeing our pants at a job site. Like I want that. I don't want the annoying stuff right now. And that is a level of peace and like tranquility that I have not had I don't know if I've ever felt that way, honestly.
Yeah, you've never.
That's amazing.
I don't think I've ever felt that way. That's a really new level for me. Like, I feel like I transcended. Like,
how much of it, I mean, you can answer how much of this you want, but how much of it is because you're making your own decisions about your business?
Oh, like not having my ex or anyone else involved in that? I mean, I think that's a really powerful part of me feeling the true sense of ownership of like, every consequence is my own, but every benefit is also my own.
And no one's in your ear, like, because he was pretty involved in like the financial incomes, not
Yeah,
decisions, but like you had a kind of base like
there was like
agreement of what needed to come home.
yeah, there's like a
Which makes
family
sense, but
discussion, which
yeah.
a lot of families do, of
Sure.
like, they'd be like, yeah, are we going to hit this? Like, are we in trouble if we don't have that? But there was definitely a lot of pressure added to that. But I would say that is part of it. And I think it's even more powerful that I can sit in peace because I know I'm looking at the right people that are calling. And
Yeah.
I feel like I have so much more clarity when people start talking, and I can identify sort of their archetype of who they are and what kind of buckets they fit into I'm not going to say immediately, but before I'm even 10 minutes into the discovery call and I'm on Zoom with them, I kind of already know where I'm going now. And that took experience, that took time, but the clarity and the confidence that it takes to be able to see that and sit with it and then go home and go to bed and not worry about them at all. And, oh, should I send them 2 or 3 follow-ups over the next couple of weeks? Like, no, that's it. Like, it's a very weird place to be. It's a little uncomfortable.
Because you said no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm at peace with it, which is also uncomfortable, right?
But that's what it's all about. I think like all the work that I do, all the work that a lot of strategists do, it's all about building clarity and confidence for our client. Like writing a process document is not sexy. Implementing Dubsado is not sexy. But the clarity and confidence it gives you is sexy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's like you doing that brand strategy work and, Rebecca even going to Ohio, like maybe that wasn't sexy, right? But the confidence she got and the clarity she got is like that. It's just so beautiful. And I think that there are very few ways you can get that clarity and confidence in your business, and investing and learning from people that are smarter than you and community, right, are a few ways you can do it. But I love that, Shaun. I'm proud of you. That's big.
I'm in my daddy era. Speaking of confidence and clarity, like I was thinking, I'm like, also, I should say another factor that adds to this is I am definitely in an era with more gray hair where I am definitely perceived as an old man now. So I will just say, I am aware of this power. I'm not overusing it, but it definitely changes how I move through the world. Being over 40 has changed the way I move through the world. It changes the way that I see other people and empathize with them, continues to change. But I think that there's a confluence that people can hit even if it's not at 40. It's like, let me make it up with learning and experience from other people who have those experiences. And I don't think it has to be like you didn't have to go through a divorce to get clarity on what your goals are for your life.
No.
Like you don't have to hit a crisis or hit a major, like it doesn't have to be
dramatic.
That dramatic in order to get there. And hopefully the better part would be you planned how you're going to get there. So that way in your business and finding that clarity happens before it was an emergency to figure out better. Or like for me to create clarity about my ideal client was to reduce stress in my business. So that was what drove well, how do I get rid of that? What's causing that? It took me a long time to get through those thoughts. I spent a lot of last year and early parts of this year finding that. And I think if I was so busy head down in the wrong people all that time, I, like many designers, would probably continue to miss it because you're just focused on one foot in front of the other.
And the feeling, so I do think yourself, like dear listener,
Dearest gentle listener,
I personally need to like hit a wall to like bang my head and open my eyes a lot of time, like, which sucks, but I've done it pretty majorly a few times in my life. So I hope that's not for you, but it is. If it is, like, just be aware of it, or like maybe you don't need 8 years of shitty clients and work to like get there, like Shaun and I kind of did, and hopefully not. But be really, I think, aware of the feeling that different things give you, like types of clients, sizes of projects, people or projects. If you want to do furniture and you're only doing bathrooms, like that's to me like a really easy one that I did way too many bathrooms.
You did a lot of bathrooms.
And I even knew like, I'm not even going to shoot this. Like, what am I doing? I'm just like putting a couple of bucks in my pocket and being annoyed. Like, so if that's just, and I started just being like, okay, when I have a call with somebody, like, be very aware of the feeling you're getting. Like, if it's an ick, it's a no. Like, and you need to, like, even if you're dating, like, if there's an ick right away, like, don't keep going on dates. Like, you
Oh my God, if you wouldn't let them smash, why are you going on more than one date with them?
pass. Yes.
Like,
Pass. Hard pass. Swipe left. Yeah. Yeah. But that, I think too, Rebecca, that's what's so beautiful about the two of you and the community you've built, and like spending so much time with you guys at High Point and really getting to know you and sitting on the forehand floor screaming
we got our slumber
across
party
the
at
coffee
their
table
party.
each other. But like community, I think also helps
Oh,
you hold you accountable, because
Mhm.
I'm similar to you, Rebecca. Like, I have to really crash out to learn a lesson. Like, I'm like, I can keep pushing, I can keep going, I'm gonna do this, right? And that was me, like, at the end of the last year. And like, I'm pregnant, I'm expecting my first baby, and that was
yay.
my crash out, which is so exciting. But like, my body was like, no, you cannot, you have to calm
Yeah,
down.
your
Like, you
body
have
will
to
do it.
give
Yep.
yourself,
Yep.
yeah, your body will do it. But it's so funny because those people in my life that I have these really honest conversations with, and I keep on referring to Renee because she's such a close friend of ours, but like, Renee will even tell me, like, I feel like you're doing a little much, or like, I feel like you should be doing this. And
Yes.
like, I'll do it right back to her, right? And it's so important to have those really, like, almost like mirror people in your
Yeah.
life where you can call
Yes.
them and be like, am I doing too much? Should I take this client on? Did I price this
Am I
right?
being
And
extra? Like, yeah.
am I being
Yes.
dramatic, or is this a problem?
Yeah.
I
Or
just,
should I charge more? Like, there's just so many things that I think having somebody or a group of people is even better. Like, also a little bit of growing with people too, I think has been really helpful, where I've gotten lucky where all of my designer friends, we're all pretty much on the same place in our businesses, and just seeing somebody be like, oh wait, she just did that. Can I do that? I fucking can do that. Like, why am I not doing that?
like, when you see someone around you who you're like, I know the struggles she went through right now. And if she can pull ahead on this thing and I'm like behind her, I'm like, come on. Like, you
Yeah.
could do it. Like, if I can watch one of my colleagues do that and I can know that we both struggled with scarcity mindset or we both struggled with
Yep.
profitability, like, it tells me, okay, you can totally do this too. Like, you've seen it. It's now being modeled in front of you, and your biggest cheerleaders are behind you, and they're like pushing at you, like, go, lean in, go. Like,
And it's a little
you cannot
competitive.
replace
Like, it's a
that.
little
Like,
bit of like competition too, of like, wait, you're not going to get left behind by still doing bathrooms. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not
Yeah.
competing with them in a direct way. Like, that's my client. But yeah, and like,
it pushes you to be better because
think
you want to be
bigger.
better because you see them being better.
Yeah.
Like, they're bettering themselves, so you want to continue to
Yep.
better yourself.
yes.
And you can
Yeah.
because they can. So it's just like drafting each other. I think it's super, super helpful.
Oh my God, it's like Tokyo Drift. If you feel it now, you know how they do it. No?
I don't think I know what that is.
No? Okay.
I don't think I know that either.
It's
You missed us on that one.
It's like the Tokyo Drift song is like, anyway. Okay, well, that's a different algorithm.
I'll wait.
Someone out there will get it.
Beyonce or
I
Taylor
know.
Swift,
I
maybe.
will-
Like,
I do have to say, I do want to ask this one question. This might be just like
Yeah.
a little bit off. We're talking about like that mindset stuff. I had a designer reach out recently to ask, how much do you think is a okay monthly snack budget for an office to have if it's like what do you
How many
think?
people?
Like maybe three or four people. Like, really,
Just
how much?
snack, not lunch, not DoorDash lunch.
No,
and
it's just
coffee.
like the stuff you keep in the office, like LaCroix or chips or like.
$200.
Yeah, I was gonna say
$250.
500, but
I honestly, I would probably spend more because I know I'm going to be like at Costco or something, and I'm like, oh yeah, we'll put this
a
cookies in
month
the
though,
like
that's a lot. 500 is a
month.
lot.
I
Yeah.
was going to say like a couple hundred wouldn't be weird because there's always going to be something, and then you have like client stuff, which in my head client stuff is separate unless you're doing
client stuff is separate.
that'd be separate.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Like a
I don't know.
charcuterie plate for a few presentations would add up quick.
But don't you think, like, if you're prepping for a meeting, like, yeah, you're going to have a meal budget that's separate from snacks, that you just have a couple things around for people's blood sugar, like buy some apples or some shit. Like,
So what was the answer? What were they doing?
well, their question was whether they needed to offer them at all. And I still think that, yes, you have to do something because it just feels, and when you're looking at the amount of money that our businesses spend for our clients and like the way that, I mean, to be honest, like even if you as a designer don't live the way your clients do, there is something kind of weird about that idea of like, oh, I'll just grab this and give
Don't
like,
drink my Diet Coke.
yeah, it's like mine are on the right, yours on the left of the fridge, or like those
Yeah.
are so, like I get it. Like when I
It's
worked
corporate.
yeah, but when I worked in private banking, they had a client kitchen that was like, this is stuff for meetings. People have caterers coming in. Like we would have huge things for that. And they did have to say like, this is staff stuff. This is over here. And of course, there were times where it was like, my clients are coming in today. I'm going to go drink the nice coffee because I'm sorry, I work on this account too. Like, and
But
like
that's
people, and some people would be like the little like uppity office executive admins would be like, that's for the clients. And I'm like, not today, it's not. I use that other stuff the whole rest of the
I'm not
time.
drinking Folgers today.
And I would be so upset
Susie.
if I was like a design assistant who was like, oh, so the clients can get a nice lunch, but I still get the scraps left behind. Like, I think there's a little bit of like we should be generous. There's an energy of generosity that comes with what we're doing with our clients. And I think extending it to our teams and our staff is like a really nice fringe thing to offer in an industry that our other fringe thing is what? Like some cast off remnants and damaged furniture? Like that's nice too, but every day matters, right?
Damaged furniture.
Yeah, but like if you're making or not making stuff right, but like if your staff is coming into an office environment, like how can you make their experience a little bit better at that office every day so that they don't mind staying the extra 30 minutes if they need to, or like if they do need to stay late to something, I think like offering to DoorDash their dinner or something like that goes a long way with people.
Yeah.
Like most of us started our own businesses because we really like wanted that quality of life aspect.
Yes.
So I think not giving that to your employees is almost hypocritical in a way.
Yeah, it feels weird if you're leading your life a different way than what you could provide them or like add to them a little bit of like, I can upgrade your stuff for you too. Like,
yeah, like, I mean, like if you come in with Starbucks every day, how about like once a week you get Starbucks for the team or just something like that, you know?
Yeah. It feels like a small ask with some bigger wins from people. And most of it is like a feeling-based environment that's hard to quantify. And if you have a bookkeeper in your head who's like, get your expenses down, you're like, well, where do I cut it? Like, I get it, but it just starts driving that like, go smaller.
Yep.
Of like, well, what are you going to say? $50? Like, I don't know. Just put a number. I would like, the thought that I gave back to the designer was like, I don't know, ask your bookkeeper to look back through like a couple quarters worth and what the averages are, and then set a number where you're like, let's not go nuts if we're really trying to not just like, if our natural willpower is very low and we're just going to keep buying snacks, maybe you set, hey, here's a good threshold number we could stay within, and let's not go crazy if we're really trying to watch ourselves. But otherwise, what's a couple $100?
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, it goes back to Rebecca. Like, why are we spending so much time on $200 a month, $500 a month?
Right.
Like, if the girls love Diet Coke and Spindrift, let's keep Diet Coke and Spindrift at the office to make everyone's life that much better.
And then when they start drinking a lot of spendthrifts, you go, man, you're going to have to bill a lot on that project today for all those spendthrifts. Make it
Just be
funny.
passive aggressive. Yeah.
Just be silly about it or something. Like,
Or you better
Like,
just
also,
cancel your
like-
time.
yeah.
Or just have it on auto delivery every month.
Yeah.
And if they drink it before it comes, okay, you have to wait those 3 days
Yeah.
for your Spindrift.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like the Staples order isn't coming and we do it once a month. So put it on the list. I'm sorry, you'll have to use your regular Bic pens until your fancy Japanese pens get here. Like,
Oh, I got to reorder those.
But I think it's all about like having people bought into the bigger ethos of the company, right?
Yeah.
Like it's all about the culture you want to set. Like, do you want to be somebody that gets cocktails with your employees and goes on like retreats with your employees? Or do you want to have more of like a, professional relationship where you do not go to the cocktail parties? Like maybe you go out to dinner, but you leave for the cocktails. I think it all goes back to the dynamic, the type of business you want to run and the type of leader you want to be.
I agree.
And I think it is like back to the industry. Like if we're trying to create a luxury experience for our clients and sell them into the idea of a luxury lifestyle of like, oh, let's just do the $400 a yard fabric. Like, what's another $50 a yard? Then what you're gonna penny pinch your Spindrift? Like, get them LaCroix. Like, don't.
Yes.
I don't know.
They
like,
can have San Pellegrino.
What are we talking about?
$50?
I don't know. It's like,
But
what's $50?
I also think it's like your environment affects everything, your wellness, your
Yes.
mindset, your productivity. So if you can foster a really wonderful environment for your team, wouldn't you want to do that? And I imagine that would also show up in their productivity and their profitability as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
think
and
it
their
would.
comfort. And they're wanting to come into
Yeah,
the
and their
office.
longevity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah, like if I didn't have to get up and get my lunch every day, I bet I would work a little bit more. I mean, it's probably good for me to get up and get my lunch.
It
I
But you know
probably
what I
should
mean.
be moving a lot more than I am. Yeah, I should be.
Same. Yeah, I'm very sedentary, especially these days.
Well, you're working on building your family, so you deserve a couple little breaks and to be off your feet every once in a
You know what?
while.
I would always tell myself, your body is building a new organ, or it probably already did,
Probably,
which
yeah,
is
building
insane.
several.
Like, how many men can say that? 0.
0.
And then it's going to build another entire human inside of that. Like, this is your pass, especially like baby one. Like, you just take all those passes you can get.
It is humbling me. I always tell everyone that I am in a season of like surrender. Like
Yeah.
I'm just not in control. And every single day I wake up and I'm like, this sounds terrible. Like, what fresh hell do I have today? Like, I just have not had a very easy pregnancy, which is okay. But it is, yeah, I'm so thankful to be my own boss right now. But I was also like so gutted when I was like, oh, I can't come on the trip with you guys. Like, I just can't do that right now. You know what I mean? Where usually that's like what fills my cup. And I would never say that to something. So it's forced me to kind of pull back a little bit and relax, for lack of better words, even though relaxing means like dying. But, you know.
He's teaching you because that is like just the lesson you're going to keep learning every day.
Yeah.
Because it's not in your control anymore. And then the second they come out, like, oh, a whole nother person that has opinions from day one. And they keep doing it. And it's like, but it's also awesome. So it's rude, but it's obviously beautiful, and you'll get there.
No, it'll be so good. It'll be so good. And I'm like, I'm super bummed that you guys are not coming to High Point in the spring,
I know,
but I
we
understand.
won't see you in the fall, huh?
Well, no, I'll probably be there in the fall.
Really?
Because I'm due July 9th.
Oh.
But he might come early.
Okay.
And like it's an hour and a half drive for me, and my parents live there. So it's like so easy.
Okay, that would be really good.
Then.
We will be there in the fall. Yeah, we won't be there in the spring, but you're like doing a couple things coming up here in April.
Yeah, so in early May, April will have market, which I'm not like speaking or anything this year. I'm taking a back seat and just like popping into a few fun things with a few people and just like going to giggle, basically.
I love that.
But yeah, it's the best. Like, I just want to giggle. But then in May, I'm speaking at the Design Field Retreat in Charleston. I think it's like May 4th through the 7th, which will be really fun. So that'll be like my last big thing. And then I have client work planned through like the beginning of June. So I'll take off. All right, I have kind of a buffer just in case he comes early.
Yeah.
Good.
So we'll see. And then I'll take leave through October. And then I'll really be back in October. And I mean, maybe since Shaun's in his daddy era, I'll just like bring my son and strap him to you. Maybe I'll
your
just
mommy.
spit on you.
Oh my God. Honestly, do it. If we want to, like, let's do like the vintage and antique stuff together. Like,
because he'll only be like 3 months old.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, you're still in, like, you could probably pull that off.
I could totally
3
carry
months.
around
but
let's do it.
no, you know what I'm so thankful for, actually? My husband works in corporate and he gets 18 or 20 weeks off, and we can like sprinkle it however we want.
Ooh.
So it's really nice. So he'll take off, like, I think he just has to take it over a year. So we can kind of sprinkle it how we want.
Yeah, sprinkle that in October. You're going to
Yeah.
probably want it when you're going back.
For the Design Field Retreat, that's happening in May.
Yeah.
Are there still, like, your episode comes out like next Friday, so it could change in a week, honestly. But what's happening at the retreat, or where should people look for?
Can people still go?
You guys, I'm so excited. I wish you were coming again.
So
just
jealous.
I
want to go to Charleston so bad.
Oh, so pretty. So it's at the Dewberry Hotel, which is gorgeous. And I'm speaking about profitability, but then also about like the architecture of scalability. So we're going to talk about like systems and team and all that stuff. Okay. And then Allie Faulkner is speaking from AEF, who is a freaking hoot. You guys know she's hilarious.
Yes.
And she's talking all about, I think she's doing like your onboarding process, your client discovery process. Julia Miller from Yond Interiors is speaking. Caitlin Fleming is going to be there. I'm not sure what she is speaking on.
That's a cool line.
And
That's a
then
full lineup.
we're going to have fun. And then also Angie Wisdom, who I don't know her personally, but she does a lot of like mindset and like de-stressing work. And I'm like, I need all the de-stressing.
Like you're like, I'm going to show up in my robe for that session.
Yeah, bring the
like,
robe. Bring your new robe.
Yeah, not this one. Yeah, so it is like it's a business retreat, but it's also a wellness retreat. So they're doing rooftop yoga, and we have a whole spa day. And then they also have like an urban electric tour and a block printing workshop with Schumacher. So they're kind of leveraging the design district. Come, Rebecca, I will send you my discount code.
I already did too many workshops so far this year.
Rebecca is
Send me your P&L and I'll tell you if you can do
actually,
it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Actually, I might.
She might
you
do
and
it.
Shaun can come. You could share a room.
It's a write-off.
It's a write-off. Like the write-off gods deal with it. I think, so that's, where can hotties find out more about that if they want to read more?
Yeah, I believe it's just the design field on Instagram, or you can just shoot me a DM on Instagram and I can send it to you. But I believe they're open for another week or so. So by the time this airs, they might be nearing wrapping up registration. But I think there were still a few spots left. And it's, I believe, May 4th through the 7th. And I would love to see you there. Rebecca would potentially love to see you there as well.
Like,
don't tease her, because she's like, she loves a trip.
I love a trip, and I've never been to Charleston.
Charleston is very beautiful. Yes.
Come. It's so pretty. It's such a beautiful place. And the Dewberry is gorgeous, the hotel it's at.
And you're like right at that cusp of the southern seasons where it's still nice to be outside. Like, yeah, it's not 90% humidity at 9 a.m. Like,
could be,
but it shouldn't be too hot. It's not that humid here right now. It shouldn't be too hot. I think you'll be fine. And we could giggle so much.
Oh my gosh. And Allie, dang. Okay.
Everybody's going to be there. And then,
I'm about to put you in a group message with Allie, and we're just going to bully you until you get this.
Okay, put Shaun in it too.
She already has.
Put Shaun in it too.
Put us all on it. And then,
Shaun, are you available those dates?
I don't know. May what again?
May 4th through the 7th.
I get back from Hawaii on the 2nd.
Oh,
no. I'm not saying no. I'm just like, I haven't thought about it yet. So now so hotties, if you're listening, I'm sorry, Rebecca and I just took the last 2 seats and and now you can't go, but I'm sure you could go to the website still. And then and you can also talk to Brooke. Wait, where will they find you? Tell the hotties where they can find you. Oh
yeah, my website, Instagram, everything is just Brooke Stoll, Stoll, my first name, last name. And I'm super excited. I'm going to be opening up a few strategy sessions in May and June before I go out on leave soon. And then I will start doing discovery calls for retainer clients onboarding in October whenever I get back to leave. So I haven't opened up client intake since the end of last October when I found out I was pregnant, because I was overwhelmed and I had a mental breakdown and I had some health problems and it was just too much. My body told me I had to stop. So
and you
I hit
needed
the wall.
that space. And thank God the universe gave you a business and a pace and a clientele and a workload that would let you do that. Like it provided it for you. And
now you have a process for it.
And now there's a process. And just to highlight what you said, gives people time to get their foundational stuff that you mentioned earlier, like ideal client and branding and like those things. That if you're talking about onboarding them throughout the year, yes, this is a long-term project. So it's not like it's like less of a transactional way of thinking about building your business, being intentional about it. And what you're doing for your own business, for yourself, aligns really closely with what you want to do for your clients. I think that's really beautiful. Like,
exactly. I'm actually really excited to enter this new phase of motherhood and everything, because I think it's gonna force me to be the business owner I've kind of always wanted to be, which is more balanced forward, because I can definitely get a little bit addicted to the success of it all. And I love what I do. I love this industry. I love this community. And it's fun. Our industry's fun, right? It's fun people. It's good people. And I'm like, yeah, like I wanted to go be with you guys. And usually like, I don't care how busy I am. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to that retreat. But it was like, no, I couldn't. I had to do virtual. And so that was kind of a bummer. But I think it's really going to force me to prioritize the things that I love, that fill my cup. 100%. And then also just like the simplest ways to profit and joy.
Yes. And on your 80th birthday, you're going to have your family surrounding you talking about all these other wonderful, beautiful, like adjectives and ways to describe you. And I'm sure most of them are not going to be brand strategist or profitability strategist or operations consultant. It's going to be all of these other beautiful, wonderful aspects about you and your personality and your life and your lived experiences. And yes, your career is only just a part of that story. But like at that party, there could be the people that you've impacted across that career.
There will be.
And they're going to remember you so much more for who you were with them versus like, oh, the SOP she wrote for me. And I think it's really beautiful.
But you're also giving people freedom, which also impacts all those things Shaun's talking about. So it's like you're giving, your business gives yourself freedom to do the things that are truly like meaningful. And you're giving the gift of that to other people who implement these changes. So.
Oh my gosh, I love you guys.
Should we
generations? Stop.
It's
no,
beautiful.
It's so fun. I think it's such a gift, and I feel so lucky to be able to give entrepreneurs just financial independence too, right? And to have that confidence to have the businesses they want, but also be able to make money from them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
And I can't wait to see you guys in May. I'm so excited.
Okay, we're going to talk about it.
You could just fly straight from Hawaii if you wanted to.
I mean, yeah, I have to connect in LAX
It'd
anyway.
be like a 12-hour flight. But
oh my God, could you imagine? Yeah. Okay, Brooke, thank you so much for making, like, I was just like on a wing and a prayer, like I always do. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to text someone and be like, girl, let's get you on. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for coming on the show.
We're so glad we got our own little retreat in our bathrobes.
Yes.
Oh, you guys are the best. And thank you so much for having me. I did such a happy dance when you texted me, Shaun. This has been so fun. I feel like I could talk to you guys for hours.
I mean, we already have done it before, and we will do it again very soon. I appreciate it. And until next time.
Stay hot, designers.
Thanks for listening to the Hot Young Designers Club podcast.
For more on what we talked about today, check out the show notes.
Your support helps us grow, so share with your design besties.
And subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Our conversations continue on Instagram.
And be sure to download our monthly resources on our website and our Patreon.